Shazam is lying to the public. Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of The Drive-Thru. I am your host, Ashley Jackson. To my left is our resident horror fan, Jarman.
Yeah, how's it going?
And to my right is the man who always needs an introduction now, Jed Naden.
Hey, I'm Jed.
Tonight, we went and saw the brand new entry into the DC Universe, Shazam, starring Zachary Levi. Levi. Let's start off by going around and seeing if there was any sort of expectations coming into this.
Well, I didn't have any expectations going into the movie at all. It looked like a kid's movie. All the humor just didn't look that great through the trailers. I didn't know too much about him either through the comics, so I wasn't too interested in watching it.
One of my most anticipated flicks of the year. This, Endgame, and Godzilla are all like the three that I've really been keen on seeing. I'm a big Shazam fan. Read a bit of the comics, Kingdom Come. I read the new 52 run that came on the back of Justice League when it was rolling out, and love all the animated output they've put on him. The Shazam and Superman Return of Black Adam was great, and one of my favourite iterations, the Billy Batson Shazam that's in Young Justice.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Probably one of my favourites. You know, you get that real kiddie wanting to play with the team kind of thing. So I was hyped to see it on the big screen.
I'm on the same page as you. For me, Shazam is one of my favorite DC characters.
For sure.
I think the idea of him being like a 14-year-old kid and being one of the most powerful superheroes in the universe is super awesome. I'm sort of caught in between in terms of my expectation, purely because being part of the DC universe, we've been somewhat.
It's been a seesaw roller
coaster. It's insert Ron Burgundy in a glass case of emotions. So that sits and weighs on me. The other thing that I haven't really, and I've been kind of not vocal about it, I guess, is I'm not the biggest fan of Zachary Levi as being Shazam.
Yeah, because we had a very preconceived actor in mind of who
course.
We wanted.
Yeah, but it is part of the DC universe that I want to see do well. Seeing off the back of Wonder Woman and now Aquaman. Shazam to me is just one of those characters that I'm like, I don't feel like a lot of people know him, but I feel like a lot of people do know him at the same time.
Yeah.
So I've got expectations. DC just kind of Warner Brothers just kind of lets me down.
Yeah. I like
all their edits.
Yeah.
As a kid, I've always been more so on the DC side of the fence. It was always Superman and Batman and The Flash for me when I was a little fellow. There was always a little bit of Marvel there because I was just into superheroes. But as I've grown older, unashamedly, I've really wanted the DC cinematic flicks to do well.
Yeah,
I've always had a little bit of personal investment in them.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, no, for sure. So you would sort of say, Jarman, going into this, maybe your knowledge of the character is not super high on your list.
The only time I'd ever seen him was in Young Justice.
Yeah. See, and Young Justice is a really good portrayal of Shazam.
Yeah, you don't get a lot of him.
Yeah.
But, you don't see many Billy Batson Shazam-centric episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a cool part of the team.
He's an excellent character. And I think that's we'll probably touch on this, but the team, super cool, and I look forward to, especially now with Aquaman and how good Wonder Woman has been, and I'm starting to anticipate and feel a little bit more excitement for what will hopefully be a new Justice League.
Can just reboot the rest of the characters.
Yeah,
the good ones.
Yeah. So. So you've got a little bit of history. We've got sort of the polar opposite on your side where you don't have too much history.
Yeah.
Okay. Going off that, for me, I still am not convinced with Zach as Shazam.
You were saying that you don't like him, but at the same time...
Yeah, he's
I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. Like
Yeah.
it was like he is so good in the film.
He is.
He is so like he is
Yeah.
really really awesome in the film, and I believe everything that he's doing in it. I just can't get past him in the suit,
Yeah.
and that's infuriating for me. But I'm excited to see what he does with it. Yeah.
I felt a lot of that when it was first cast, and I had to just let go because with so many of these superhero movie castings, like they're not very comic accurate, and you have to get over it really quick.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
when I think of Shazam, I think of like what we see in the animated in Young Justice, or I think of like what Alex Ross, like the classic Justice, like they recreated the Justice League poster for the movie with that kind of Alex Ross, that they all look a little bit more mid-40s and stuff, but that super chunky, big,
Like
the super
the
tapered triangle
Yeah.
man, which is kind of why I would have really liked to have seen John Cena
Yeah.
playing Shazam.
I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially knowing that, like, one day we're hopefully to see him face off against the already cast Black Adam, The Rock.
Yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be an epic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I think it'll be interesting where this sits in the universe when you sit. If Warner Brothers still goes forward with Henry Cavill as Superman,
I hope they do.
and seeing him next to Zack.
Yeah.
Now, he looks very water heavy, and that's just a physical standpoint. I think the two characters would be unreal
Yeah.
in the same universe.
Yeah.
And I would love to see them playing off each other
Yeah.
massively. But yeah, it's just a physical thing for me to get past. But like, I mean, in that being said, like, I absolutely thought he was hilarious.
Yeah, he was.
I thought he was like serious when it needed to be, and I thought he played like the character really, really well.
Yeah.
Better than I really had going in.
Yeah. Cool.
But like in terms of the casting, how do you feel about the cast? Because I guess we should probably give a heads up. We do have spoilers coming up in this, so if you don't want to hear any spoilers, probably just switch off now.
Yeah.
But leave us a like and drop a comment.
Yeah, and come back later after you've seen the flick.
But in terms of the casting, how did you guys feel?
It was really well cast,
Yeah.
top to bottom. I can live with Levi being there. I thought Freddie was super well cast. Dylan Jack Grazer, I think his name might be. He was in It as well.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the movie to me. Those two clicking off each other and their little journey together is the best part of the flick. But the family's great.
Yeah.
The adoptive parents are great. Mark Strong, absolutely just chewing up the hammy, villainous dialogue, but committing to it and doing well. And and then like, other than that, we've really just got the wizard, I guess, who he does and looks and acts the way a wizard very much should. Yeah.
And they like the humor of it. They play on that. Like they play on everything within the film. So it's I enjoyed that they were sort of making fun of
it was
themselves.
kind of
within
like a self-aware, but more so just the characters being a little bit more switched on.
Yeah,
It wasn't like fourth wall or referencing that they were in a movie or something. It was just like they're used to the tropes now.
They're all like, so they're not surprised by what the powers that come with it and stuff like that.
Yeah, 100%. Was there any sort of casting that stood out to you? Like,
I like the casting from the adopted people.
Yeah.
When they turn into the other characters.
So
Shazam? I don't know
major
the whole
spoiler,
thing.
but basically, like the idea of the family, they are like the Shazam family.
Okay.
That's what it becomes.
So they're all Shazam.
The rumor was that was something that they were working on. I just didn't think Warner was ballsy enough to actually do it, and they do.
Yeah.
And it's killer. Like, absolutely killer.
It's probably the part of it too that makes it like, this is really kid friendly right now.
Yeah.
Like this is fun. That was really fun when they got to that.
Also, Warner Brothers, this is how you sell toys.
Oh yeah.
Like, not this, like, Paramount, just get a clue. Like, 100%. No, the families thing, totally cool. I got a little jazzed up. I was like, Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that was a big shock to me because I didn't know anything about that. So
Yeah.
when it happened, I was just like, I didn't know that everyone could be.
They
like,
had to make
6
how many
parts.
suits to do this?
Yeah, what?
Yeah. Super cool, super good twist. I think touching on what you said before, like Mark Strong is a underrated highlight in this film. He's a great actor, first and foremost. There's very few things that he's like not very good in, and if he isn't, it's probably because of the movie itself. Green Lantern. I'm talking to you.
He was a great Sinestro in Green Lantern.
Yeah.
It was just a
Was he though?
crappy. Yeah, well, it was a crappy movie, but he was a great Sinestro.
Yeah. He's unreal, and I think the strength of like Mark Strong is like he plays a villain, and even though it's kind of like all these superhero films, we sort of get like this kind of like really trashy villain that no one cares about. Like he starts this movie.
Yeah.
He is the beginning of this movie, right? And you go, oh, all right, we're all in on this dude, and you care enough about the character, and he's not wasted, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's just not a faceless character. And I enjoyed, like, the 7 sins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked how brutal they were.
Yeah.
That was a lot more than I was expecting from most of the scenes.
It was like a bunch of Zools. It was 7 Zools from Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
Like, that's what they
that's
look
so
like.
true. Yeah.
Um,
Breaking through the stones.
Speaking of, like, how sort of you found that sort of unexpected. You did mention a couple of weeks ago that we were sort of in for it being kind of like horror-ish.
Yeah.
And you being a resident horror
Yeah.
aficionado, how did you feel like seeing, because it kind of gets a little bit dark.
Yeah, there was a few scenes in it. Like there was a scene where they were in the board meeting,
Yeah.
and all the ghouls come out and just like start ripping heads off and throwing people off out of the building and stuff. And I was not expecting it to get that dark at all.
I think the first scene really sets the benchmark because, like, you know,
The car slamming into a parked car and you're in the car, like that's always a very jarring thing. It's never not unpleasant.
Yeah.
But there was like a big shock element there straight off the bat.
And then the kid getting blamed for it right after.
By your father that's bleeding into the ground,
Yeah.
like calling you out for it. That's heavy. That's pretty heavy. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's definitely darker and probably a little bit heavier than what's really being advertised out there.
Yeah.
It's
So-
the same kids movie.
Do you think that Shazam is lying to the public?
Is Shazam lying to the public? It could be getting a couple of kids that are a bit too young into this flick, making the dollars, and then having the angry mothers and fathers walk them out. Because I think kids under 10,
Yeah.
they're going to struggle with this. It's not
Nightmares.
bloody. Like the boardroom scene when they were all against the glass panels, that looked like something out of The Mist.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
yeah.
all it was missing was just like the blood
splatter,
sprays,
yeah,
but
yeah.
you know, we were never going to get that. But no, it's like PG-13.
Yeah.
For sure.
It is super family friendly because
Yeah.
the humor in it is good. It's got the family dynamic. There's just some dark moments. I guess you could say it's just it pushes the boundaries of what, say, like a Ghostbusters.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, Ghostbusters was. Very
And I
good.
actually felt it was quite. It had a bit of that 80s thing. Like, it didn't feel very modern. It felt a little bit 80s, a little bit 90s. And just like the way it was presented, it looked like something a little bit from back in the day.
Yeah. I thought what I found as like a good basis of what you could sort of, if you wanted to have an idea of what to anticipate for this film, is it really made me think of all the awesome things that like Spider-Man brought to the table. Like from the get-go, you get like the young person finding their powers, learning about themselves, having the family dynamic. I mean, Warner did a really good job of making a good Spider-Man film. But no, it's good. It's great. Like, it stands on its own, you know. Like,
Yeah, very much so.
And I enjoyed, like, I thought going in, like, when Shazam's finding his powers, I thought that was going to be so cheesy and so terrible. But they killed it. Like, I was laughing. I was totally like, yeah, that's... You start to embody the fact that, like, if you were a 14-year-old kid and you had...
That's how a 14-year-old kid with superheroes would operate. Like, from beers, boobs. Like, you know, of course that's what you'd be thinking at that age. And just the just the general way they documented it in 2019.
Yeah,
you know,
everything on YouTube.
and it's to get likes. They're
Yeah.
going to try and exploit it for likes and stuff. I
and
was
for
actually-
money.
I was actually surprised they weren't going to show us the kids like making bank from the views on the YouTube videos.
No, it's good. It graces on like current day topics,
Very
right?
much so.
So, yeah, I mean, that sort of stuff is like always good to have in the film. Like that, it sort of makes it like, especially believable. Like it's in a universe on its own where we go, well, this stuff doesn't happen, but like it also. Yeah,
That's exactly what
makes
people
it,
would do.
And it's especially seeing with all these superhero films, especially the DC ones, it's like grounded in reality, like which is what I feel. It is sometimes to the detriment of these films because they let go a little bit of just like the whimsy, and like we're as I was saying, we're willing to put our suspension of disbelief, and give me a bright red costume, a little bit of real world, but I'm in for a fun time.
Yeah, I feel like it definitely hits on all facets. Like the dark stuff was like really strong. The humor is really good. Like I felt there wasn't like there was no like jokes that failed. Like I felt like everyone in the cinema was like laughing and enjoying it. Like it was crude, but at the same time very family friendly. I thought the fight scenes were really good. The one that really highlighted to me was like the first time you see the sister when she becomes part of the Shazam family. And that is by far the best like slow motion scene since X-Men's Quicksilver scene.
The Ferris wheel save.
So that's unreal.
I like the bit when he tried to attack the ghoul as well, and it just goes to mist and grabs his cape.
That
and
was
you
cool.
see his facial expression change as he gets taken.
Yeah, the fight scenes were all like they were all really cool. The first time you see him run, I'm just like, we couldn't do this for the Flash. Like
you needed how many million?
Yeah,
you needed to be restricted to make him look that good.
Yeah. And like, I don't need to see flappy inflatable arm man Flash version. But yeah, all of those things I think hit really well in terms of like the laughter and the fights and everything like that. How did you feel about like the family dynamic? Did anything sort of stand out to you?
Not too much. I couldn't really think of anything at the moment.
No, I'm all family at the moment.
Yeah,
so I love the adoptive parents. They were like really warm, really welcoming, and I love the little clique and how they all really came together and had each other's back. I got the warm and fuzzies when Billy really embraced them. Like it was quite sad. Like he spent his whole life tracking down his mother just for her to be like. To be honest, like I didn't really want you.
I just
like
left you
when
there.
I saw that like you were kind of okay, I went, all right, I'm gonna go do me.
Yeah, that to me when that opening scene, I was like, she's a terrible mother.
Yeah.
Like that was all I could think of, and she was. That's what she became. I enjoyed the family dynamic. I felt super stoked that it all led to it and it all paid off.
It did. It was a big payoff.
Yeah.
It was a big family payoff.
Huge payoff.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. So with every sort of superhero movie, we get a lot of pop culture references. Is there any sort of highlights? Is there anything that you sort of saw that you were like, man, that's sick?
Yeah, well, in one of the first scenes when he traps the cops in the pawn shop, as he walks into the pawn shop, you see the Annabelle doll.
Yeah, right.
That was really cool, especially because it's the second movie that's actually had the Annabelle doll.
Right.
Yeah.
Because Aquaman had it as well.
That's cool. I wonder if Annabelle is like canonically
Same
included
universe.
in the, and she's like just following these chosen ones around.
Well, James Wan did Aquaman, and then the guy who did this one, Sandberg, he did Annabelle 2. So they kind of just get horror.
Whoever's doing this Annabelle Comes Home.
Yeah, it's going to be the new director.
Yeah. Right, get him on the next
Black Adam.
There you go, yeah.
Any sort of pop culture stuff for you?
There's a couple of cool ones. We had a little. I love a good Street Fighter Hadouken.
Yep.
Which the gamer kid he threw a little energy ball when he turned into the Shazam version of himself. And what else did we get? Like there was a lot of in DC universe referencing.
Yeah.
There's Batman and Superman toys. Freddie wears a different
Shirt.
Justice League membership
Yeah,
every day,
every
which I
day.
loved, and
Yeah.
it was never like super out of display, like he's got a jacket over it. Had an actual bullet that had shot Superman, and he had a batarang which he actually threw at Savannah's head and cut him open.
Yeah.
Which was a massive plot point
Yeah.
on how to take out the villain.
Yeah. Yeah, all pretty cool. Like, I'm the guy who misses all of those things. So, yeah, I'll go watch someone else on YouTube pinpoint 50 things you missed in Shazam.
Yes.
So, but yeah, all right, big thing. Where's the sit in the DC universe for everybody? Now, we've had some, it's pretty controversial, the old DC universe.
Yeah.
Maybe, like, see, I think Man of Steel
Yeah.
is an epically awesome DC
Yeah,
film.
I unashamedly love it.
Yeah.
And I still probably... It's my number one
Yeah.
film in the DC universe, for sure. This is second, and I
Yeah.
don't even hesitate to
Yeah.
say it.
I think for me, I'm with you. I'm like Man of Steel, Shazam, and then Aquaman and Wonder Woman sort of sit.
Yeah.
Pretty close. They can battle
for
it out.
a position I'm not too fussed
And
about.
then basically everything can just go in the bin at
Yeah.
that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's Batman vs Superman. Love that film. Number
Right.
one. Then probably Man of
No, wait,
Steel.
you're being serious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
See, I've watched Batman vs Superman so many times because I'm just like, Batman looks really good.
I just love that opening scene where he's
Yeah.
running through the rubble. That gets me every
Yeah,
time. I love that scene.
Yeah, that movie just goes at a peak. Like,
Yeah, the
just
end of
goes
it's not that
downhill,
great,
yeah.
but the start of it puts it up there for me. And then probably Aquaman and Wonder Woman together, and they're all of them. Pretty much the rest of them I put in the same boat.
So where does Shazam sit with you?
Sits with Aquaman and
Right, so
Wonder Woman.
it's sitting well. I think it sits well with those two movies, with Wonder Woman and Aquaman.
Yeah, there's obviously a little unofficial trinity. It's not your Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. We're getting like an Aquaman, Shazam, Wonder Woman. But having said that, like that's all we have.
Yeah,
Right
sure.
now, that's official. These people are the people that are still signed on. Cavill, we don't know. I hope he's back. Affleck's out.
Yeah.
And apparently there's reports today that we don't have a Ezra Miller Flash anymore.
Oh, thank God! I wanted him gone from this. But
Yeah,
as soon as they
it-
signed it,
Yeah, I'm not too keen on him either. But it's weird to have something, a cinematic universe of this caliber so up in the air.
Yeah, and being splintered.
Yeah.
You know, I worry that like, yeah, it's going to be hard to say because obviously two of the three good movies or that they're sort of moving forward with like have characters that are in that universe.
That's right.
You know,
Yeah.
I think it's great. Like, it sits in the universe really, really well. I don't feel like it suffers from what I didn't like in Aquaman was like the back and forth where it was like 1 minute it's a romantic film, 1 minute it's a horror film, 1 minute it's an action film, and 1 minute it's a superhero film.
It's a better film than that.
It's way better.
It's
like
way more
way
concise.
better.
It knows what it wants to be, and it balances the different themes,
Like,
the different tones
really
well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. And if they push forward with this universe, I'm more than excited.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
the DC Marvel verse.
Yeah,
Basically.
basically.
just get more horror directors.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Horror
It
directors chuck a couple of jokes in.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's a ton of mentions and ton of like cameos. Stay for the end of credits. There are two.
There's two.
There's an after credit.
You probably don't need to
During
stay
credits.
right after the credits. I think I saw that on a YouTube video.
You're right.
To be honest, but yeah, there's some sequel bait in there basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean, we're going to see a sequel. This is going to do really well. It
Yeah.
reviewed really well, which is probably something that Warner Brothers has just is so desperate for. They're
Yeah.
desperate for a film
They need some critical acclaim.
that's going to be
Yeah.
loved by the critics and is going to do well in the box office.
Mhm.
Yeah, you know. I would be more than excited for a sequel.
Yeah, I'd definitely be. I'd watch it 100%.
Yeah. They're obviously trying to set up something here with Mr. Mind, that caterpillar-looking thing at the
Yeah, I
end.
didn't know what that was about.
But like if we have to do that, so be it. But like, let's get the Rock in his
Yeah.
spandex, right?
Yeah. But I hope because like That was announced so long ago.
Long ago.
Like Black Adam.
He was having scotch with Cavill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's get it done. Let's make it happen. Let's see Zach and The Rock. I want to see the training programs. I want to see Zach eat the same amount of food as The Rock.
Shazam and Superman are friends already.
Yeah.
Like, let's do it.
You know. But yeah, overall, I feel pretty happy with the film. I'm very satisfied. I got everything that I wanted. I laughed way more than I thought.
Yeah,
I got
I laughed out
action.
loud, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there was no real plot holes. Nothing really I didn't have that I had a problem with. I think the biggest sort of flaw was for me was the argument between Billy and Freddie when it came to you didn't come to lunch to help me beat up the bullies.
Yeah.
Which was kind of the opposite of why you want to have superpowers, or why it would make him be the chosen one.
And after he was talking about how you have to protect your family by not revealing who he is
Yeah.
when you're around him.
It was kind of against Freddie's kind of whole moral code of superhero ethics.
Just changed straight away.
Yeah, that's such a minor thing. I can't stress enough how awesome this film is.
Yeah.
And I hope Rotten Tomatoes doesn't rip it to shreds. I don't think it's going to.
No. It is
already
certified
up there.
fresh already.
Yeah.
Okay. You know. So should we do a little bit of a score? Are we interested? Or
should we say what superpower would we have if we could have a superpower?
Okay. Yeah. Do you want to kick us off, or do you want to wait for us?
I'll wait for you guys.
Okay. Jed.
We discussed this before, and I didn't really think about it very well. The obvious thought process is always kind of flight.
Yeah.
And you want speed with your flight, but then you also need some kind of superhuman endurability for when you hit the power lines or a wall by accident, and then a regular man traveling in the sky at 100 kilometers hitting a bird dead, you're dead. And so it's probably not the safest superhero to have. I think the manipulation of the mind.
Okay.
Like Kilgrave in Jessica Jones, or
Little Professor X going on here.
Little Professor X thing. Being able to just get what you want and influence people. That's probably a really good good trick to have up your sleeve. But then at the same time, no, I'd have to go flight. It's just too cool. I can get to work so quick.
Yeah. I float around the idea of teleportation and just being able to get wherever you want, whenever you want. I think that's kind of cool. I also I just like the invulnerability factor, because I think after watching something like Unbreakable and Glass, it has a very real day use if you were to get a power, and it's just that's cool. I
think it's funner to say, as opposed to what individual superpower, which superhero's power set would you like to absorb? Because then you got a whole plethora of crap, which is totally unfair. But I think the spectacle of flying.
Yeah.
If you chuck a cape on and some spandex, you'd have to work out a lot to make that look really cool.
Yeah. Okay. Fill us in. This is your question. So
yeah, mine would be Jumper, from the movie, just being able to just teleport somewhere straight away.
Okay.
Yeah. Similar.
Yeah, exactly the same. It's just so easy.
The Nightcrawler Banff.
Yeah. It's just, and you could take people with you easily.
You need that. You need to be able to take the family on a Banff holiday.
Yeah. It's where do you want to go?
Yeah. No. What superpowers would you like? Leave a comment below. Tell us what you think when it comes to that sort of stuff. Obviously, we've just rambled on about nothing. But if you got some good ones, leave us a comment and tell us what you think. I guess we should rate this movie. We'll go around. Jamin, you want to kick us off?
I'll probably give it a 7. I like the humor and everything in it. Just could have been a bit more action.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, I'm gonna go an 8.5. There's very little about this film that I don't like. I think it ticks so many boxes for me. 8.5, because I think as a beginning for Shazam, it's not boring in terms of there's so much backstory that you have to get to. They hit the backstory really well. The action, you get an idea of his capabilities, because that's what you want. You want to be able to understand what he's capable of, and then you want to see the full potential of it come to fruition, whether it's in a collaboration film, or it's in a sequel. I thought the villain was also really good. I thought the family dynamic was there, and I thought the humor really hit. So,
you got to give it high marks.
yeah, I think an 8.5 is like, I would go see this again in the cinema just to see if I could pick up on anything else. Yeah.
No, I'm definitely feeling like if I've given movies 8 this year, like this at least deserves an 8 or maybe a 9. I don't think it's good enough to like. It is an 8.5 film. I think if we're going to start splitting points, but it's really good. It sets out to do what it wants to, and like it's super enjoyable. And so many of these movies, like you have to go in and kind of turn off a lot of just your logic and your thinking to enjoy them. But you don't have to with this one because it is what it is, and it's a really fun, cool superhero flick.
Yeah, for sure. So, any last words?
No.
Pretty good.
Boobs and beer.
Boobs and beer and wings, by the way.
Wings.
Shout out to Hot Wings. All right, so we've been the drive-through. We've just watched the new DC entry, Shazam. This is our immediate reaction to it, having just watched it. Catch us next week for another episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, tell your friends. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on Instagram. It's all in the bio. So just click away. If you don't like us, if you like us, click those thumbs up. And we'll see you guys next week with another episode.
You didn't do like a thing to it at the start?
I did. I said,
Did you? I thought you kind of just went straight in.
Oh yeah.
No gap to like.
no, I did the Shazam trailers lie to us, and there's the pause at the end of that.
Oh, did you say? I don't remember you
Yeah.
saying that.